is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. We are back yet again. I know we have a lot to talk about today, but there's a fun fact that I wanted to alert you of, Alex, that I haven't texted.
Mhm.
So earlier this week or last week, I don't remember. You said you liked the Kento Miyahara match, right? You saw it's amazing because
Yeah.
you like two of a male wrestler's matches in 1 year. That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. Did you know that he was Akira Hokuto's like chosen boy, like the chosen one for Akira Hokuto? Like she's the one. Um, so he was trying out for a Kensuke office and he was going to get cut.
Right.
But Akira Hokuto personally forced Kensuke Sasaki's hand and was like, I want him here. So the only reason he's wrestling right now is because Akira Hokuto was like, you know what, I really like this kid. And now he's around and one of the best male wrestlers in the world. So
Right. Okay.
I thought it was very funny that you were like, oh my God, I think I like a male wrestler. And I was like, it's funny because that's Akira Hokuto's that's Akira Hokuto's wrestler. But yeah, I thought that
Akira
was a funny
Hokuto
little
knows
thing.
ball. She
Yeah,
knows ball.
100%. She saw
Officially.
it. She liked it because his name was Ken, which is Kensuke, and To, which is
Mhm.
Hokuto. So she was like, "Oh, it's destiny."
I
And I
see.
was like, "Sure,
Yeah.
thanks."
Well, it worked, I guess. I mean, he's pretty good sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know how to follow that up. Head on over to the 5starnetwork.co for all of the great articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of wrestling. There's also the 5 Star Network YouTube channel where there are some exclusive shows and kind of other bits that get uploaded. So yeah, check it all out. I have nothing to plug. I've been very inactive. I don't know about you. Um, you
Yeah,
always seem
I
to
have
be doing something.
severe writer's block, so I have been very inactive on that front. But the No Limit Show Best of Black Wrestling episode about ACH is up on the YouTube, so go check that out if you haven't. I had a lot of fun talking about ACH because he's dope. So go do that. I'm still advertising that until the new one comes out, which we haven't recorded yet, so that'll happen eventually.
All right. On the news front, it's been a busy week in Stardom. We had
Good.
the blocks announced for the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. The red Goddess block is Julia and Tekla, Suri and Saki Kashima, Hazuki and Koguma, Suzu Suzuki and Mei Seira, Mina Shirakawa and Waka Tsukiyama, Lisa Serra and Kurumi Hiragi, Natsuko Tora and Starlight Kid, and then Utami Hayashishita and Lady C. In the Blue Goddess block, it is Maika and Megan Bain, Mayu Iwatani and Hanan, Saya Ida and Hanako, Mirai and Mai Sakurai, Tam Nakano and Natsupoi, Azumi and Miyu Amasaki, Momo Watanabe and Rocca, and Ami Sourei and Yuna Mizumori. So,
Sounds like shit,
yeah, that
which
we,
is kind of a shocker. Like I would have
yes,
expected. Like I don't know. There are certain like changes, like very instantaneous changes that I'd be like, oh, that would have made this a lot better. Um, One of the biggest ones is that the champion is not in it. Um,
mhm.
but even beyond that, it's like I I love Saida, but it's like Hanako and Lady C felt like just a very simple undercard tag team that they could put together. Like just small things like that where it's like it just all boils together to be not as fun as I was hoping.
Yeah, I mean, this used to be a tournament where we'd get like Dream Shine, and now we get Utami and Lady C. Um, so yeah, this is a really weak tournament. It screams of we book too many shows and people need rest, and I'm like, well, shouldn't have booked too many shows, brother. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Um yeah, it's rough actually. Like
Yeah.
when you really I think another thing is just like Oedo Tai, they kind of fucked that up. They gave us the two
Yes.
least interesting
Yes.
teams from Oedo
Um,
Tai.
but also like anything that they've could have set up or has been set up, they didn't go with.
Yeah.
Like, May Sarah and Megan Bain have been the most entertaining odd couple on the planet. So of course they got split up. And I'm just like, this was a no-brainer. There was a couple of
Especially because
no-brainers.
May Sarah and Suzu just challenged. So it's not
Yeah,
like they're winning. Like if
yeah.
if that was like a theoretical, then it's like, oh cool, Megan Bain and Micah and Suzu and May are both contenders for this tournament. But no, it's Micah and Bain are like the only ones that have like them and FWC are like the only teams I can really see winning this tournament. I think I had like one or two other ones that could theoretically, but like uh, also and I know we're going to talk about it later. They didn't put Suzu and Julia together, which felt like not a no-brainer, but like
Well, it did
they
after
they
Prominence was
built
like,
it.
we want to fight you
Yeah.
both.
And
And
after
it's,
Julia
it's
invited Suzu to DDM,
yeah. So split them
she's
up.
not in it yet, just so you guys, in case anybody doesn't know yet, she's not in DDM, but
No.
Julia made the official offer. Um, Yeah, just bizarre tournament all around. And it, like I said, it obviously suffers from like some non-entrance, right? You know, like it suffers from no Mariah May, it suffers from no Sariano. Um,
And
like
I
there
is
are
also not
definitely
there.
Nanai. Yeah, I mean, Nanai and you were tweeting like, "Oh, I wish we could have been in it this year," and I was like, "I do too, homies.
Dude,
I do too."
I feel like Nanai and Saida would have been a much better pairing,
Yeah,
based on the recent interactions. So like you could have done that as well, but I guess
or
Nanai
even
wasn't
Nanai and pretty much
available.
anyone. Nanai and Hanako. Like, I mean, obviously they kind of killed their team, but like
Yeah,
they could have done Nanai and any undercarder, and it would
yeah,
have worked
pretty
pretty well,
much.
I think. Nanai and Ruaka would have been super fun, as we saw on the
That
Dream
was great.
Tag
Yeah.
show. Yeah, like there were, and obviously, like I said, you can't really do much about people not being in it. But even within the tournament, there are a lot of things they could have done to make it a bit more interesting. Obviously, there are a few matches I'm excited for. Me and Scott were talking about Mayu and Hanan being a team, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. It's uh this is the first time Hanan looks eligible in one of these tournaments of like doing something at all because she's with Mayu. Uh, so it's like that's cool. And then on the other side, if they do it, do we know if they're what format they're doing or if they're doing
No,
like
they haven't
cross?
said. I assume they're doing the cross thing again.
That's unfortunate. Because that means most matches are going to be bad. Because like one block
Yeah.
is pretty stacked and one
Well, I
relatively
assume
stacked and
they're
one
doing
block isn't.
cross because they wouldn't. If they don't do cross, then they're doing Prominence versus both Suzu and Julia. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
they do that just in Tag League. So um, maybe they do cross block because then you get Megan and Micah versus Prominence, which kind of I don't know. Maybe
The
they will
the
do same
the
block
issue with
this
doing
year.
cross block, is that like the one match that I'm excited for is Suzume against Suzuki and Koguma. So I'm just
Hmm.
like, of course I'm gonna lose out on that match if they do cross block.
Yeah. So I don't really know. They haven't said it, but I would imagine they stick to cross block because that's what they have done for the last few years.
They've done
But
it
you
for
never
all
know.
tag tournaments in recent time. 'Cause
Yeah,
they did it
they
with the
did it for
trios
the
too.
trios as well. Um, but who knows? Maybe they'll change it, and we just won't know. Um, on another front, there was a bunch of people pulled from the cards this weekend.
Mm.
Momokogo, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki are all off. Mai Sakurai is back on vacation. She had a one-off comeback to set up her team with Mirai and is now jaunting off back on vacation.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you know that today, well, when this comes out, 14th is like everybody's birthday?
really?
It's my Sakurai's birthday, it's Hanako's birthday, it's Utami's birthday, and then it's some other wrestler that's not in Stardom's birthday. And I was like, damn, there's a lot of motherfuckers with
Oh,
9/14 birthdays. So happy birthday to all of them. Shouts out.
all right. Um, the other news is that there was double press conference for New Blood 11, which is also not streaming on the YouTube because Stardom seems to be allergic to good decisions. You
Yeah.
know, your
I mean,
YouTube channel is booming in attention, so you take away the full
I
show
imagine
uploads.
this is a venue issue because they've been doing new venues for
I
this.
think this is the Shinagawa hall that it's usually in. I think this is back
It
to
is
its home.
Shinagawa. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck it's not live then.
I don't know. Honestly, I try not to question their decisions sometimes
You should.
because it
We
confuses me.
definitely should question their decisions
I,
way more.
I don't want to. It would annoy me. But yeah, the card for New Blood 11 is Hina versus Kazuna Tanaka of Wave versus Hanako. So that's a fun one. We have another three-way match. It's Sexy Dynamite Princess versus Waka Tsukiyama versus Tekla. We have Lady C versus Rocka. I feel like they've run that before on a New
Very
Blood as
frequently.
well.
Very
Yeah,
frequently.
it's good times. We have a Passion Injection match. Mei Seira versus Nanai Takahashi. We have a Cosmic Angels promotion assessment match, Tam Nakano versus Yuna Mizumori. And then we have a Future of Stardom Championship match, Rina versus Azusa Inaba. And the main event is a New Blood Tag Championship match, Karma and Starlight Kid versus Azumi and Mio Masaki. This is Hanan and Saya Ida. So, yeah, that's a New Blood card. That's a fairly standard New Blood card by now. They've kind of fallen into that little pattern with the big matches. We then got the
There's some
full
cool
card.
stuff on it.
Yeah, kind of. It'll be nice to see it
Also,
when it's
I
it's
just
done.
checked Cage Match. Apparently, Rocco wrestled Secret Base a couple days ago. Maybe that's the wrong link, but that's
I would
interesting.
imagine so because I feel like somebody would have mentioned it.
Uh,
I don't know.
Also, this is going to be the 7th Ruaka versus Lady C match.
That is incredible. Oh my god. Okay. Um,
Ruaka
yeah.
has won literally every single time.
Oh my god. Well, you gotta break the streak somehow. Um, we had a press conference as well then for the Nagoya Golden Fight Show in Aichi, the Dolphins Arena on October 9th. We have a gauntlet tag match. Lady C and Miyu Masaki versus Starlight Kid and Rocka versus Hanan and Ami Sore versus Waka Tsukiyama and Yuna Mizumori. Noticeable by her absence from pretty much everything after the end of September is Mariah May. I
Oh
wonder
yeah,
where
that
she's
was one
going.
thing. That was
I
one thing that I was going to
I
bring up.
wonder where Mariah May is gone. She's on
Is
holiday.
it's
She's
it's
on holiday.
looking it's looking like that weekend at the end of the year or at the end of the month is going to be her last weekend, realistically.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get one more Sexy Dynamite Princess show. We're gonna get her versus Hanan, and then probably her send off on the Korakuen. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah.
Whatever the
No, not her
Korakuen
send
is.
off. She's only on holiday. That's
Oh
all.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's on holiday. um,
I will say if Mina, knock on wood, if Mina does win the red belt at the end of the year, I would be really upset if she couldn't make an appearance. I'm gonna be real. I know she's not going
yes,
to, but
yeah, yeah,
that'd be upsetting.
it would. Speaking of Mina, she's in the other match. It's a UWF rules match. Syria versus Mina Shirakawa. We have a high speed championship match. Saki Kashima versus Mei Seira. The Artists of Stardom titles are on the line when Julia, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla defend against Maika, Suzu Suzuki, and Megan Bain. Um, kind of glossed over that, but Megan Bain is she's sticking around. She kind of has some stuff to do, which is
Yeah,
cool because she's good. We have the
she still
Goddess of
does not
Stardom.
wear pants ever.
No, it's very funny. Honestly, I'm very into it. She just like wears the headdress everywhere, like she sleeps
Yeah,
with it and
like
all.
she was
And
like
just
out and about. Like she posted on Instagram and she was in the gear. I was like,
yeah,
that's commitment.
yeah. She's Pac. She's like Pac. He never wears
Yeah,
clothes.
shots up.
It's yeah. Um, The Goddess of Stardom titles are on the line. Natsupoi and Ami Sore, or no, Sori Ano defend against Utami and Azumi. Kairi is having a send-off match. It's Kairi, Nanai Takahashi, and Mayu Iwatani versus Hazuki, Koguma, and Saya Ida. Um, we have a Wonder of Stardom Championship match. Mirai defends against Momo Watanabe. And then the World of Stardom title is on the line when Tam Nakano defends against Natsuko Tora. So all things considered, pretty loaded pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I would consider this one of their stronger lineups in a while. So that's fun. We always like a good pay-per-view.
in her promo, or in her, in the press conference thing, whatever she tweeted, I forget. Mirai read Momo Watanabe like a book. And it was fucking scary.
Dude, Mariah's crazy. Like I
Like
see
she
all
was like,
these I see these
go ahead,
Mariah
go ahead.
can't cut promo takes and I'm like, who the hell? She
Did
is
they
a
see the Konami
beast.
one? That shit was
Yeah.
insane.
I know she has her moments of where she doesn't really
Show
respond
pipe.
properly, but she is an absolute savage when she wants to be,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Like bro, she legit said, "Oh man, you have such incredible skill, but then everybody called you a loser and you believed them. What a loser." It was just she read her like a book. It was incredible.
Hmm.
It was depressing as somebody who has been following Momo Watanabe's career for a long time, but she read her like a book. So shouts out to Mariah.
Yeah. Um, with that, then it is time to go on to the review section because we do
Yeah.
have two shows to review. The first is on September 9th, 2023. It was Starverse Presents 5-Star GP 2023, supported by SoftBank Korakuen Tournament. This is in Korakuen Hall in front of 1,327 very loud people. You watched the undercard to this.
Yes,
I,
I watched
as a
everything.
normal human, only stuck to the GP matches because who really has time for undercards in the GP? Um,
I haven't watched an undercard in a while, so I was like, you know what,
yeah.
I'll check it out. Why not?
We'll be
Plus, I already
back to
watched the
watching
Azusa.
many undercards soon. Oh, I did watch the Azusa promo. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna miss an Inaba thing. So the show did open with Azusa Inaba showing up and saying, "Hey, I'm Azusa Inaba from Just Tap Out. As Rena here, get your ass out here, Rena. I want to challenge you for the Future of Stardom Championship." And Rena, in her standard fashion, was like, "You're only 15, you stupid child." And I was like, "This is peak." So
I've mentioned this before. Third person younger than Reno that Reno will ever face has ever faced. With Moran, Hina, and now Azusa. I think that's kind of funny that she's already like, "You're a dumb kid. A kid can't beat me," and it's like you're
yeah,
a year older, homegirl. But yeah.
yeah. She was like, "I am 16 and you were 15, you child," and I was like, "That is incredible."
That is the
Um,
most 16-year-old thing to say, by the way.
yes. Yeah. Azusa was honestly, she was pretty good in the
Yeah.
promo. For a 15-year-old who is probably cutting her first promo in front of 1,300 people. I
You
thought
want to know something
she
crazy?
handled herself quite well. Well,
This show was no, not to the day. It was like 364 days after the first Azusa Inaba appearance,
wow.
where she got in Micah's face in that tag match.
Oh,
After the
yes.
tag match, so that was a year ago, like yesterday. Um,
Right.
and I think that's really interesting that like she's already here, straight up a prodigy. Because like, yeah, this promo kind of convinced me that it's like she's here. She has a presence. Like obviously
Hmm.
she's a really good wrestler already, but like I don't know, she has felt incredibly natural on the microphone, and I was like, oh, that's like that should be intimidating to a lot of people because she is very good very quickly.
Yes, yeah, I've seen some takes. People have been telling me she's better. She's going to be better than Tomoka. Um, I would hesitate on that one, but
I
you know
think
what? You can never have too many talented Inaba sisters.
I'm sure I've mentioned this before that it's like she had it way easier than Tomoka,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, and I might be wrong in this. I believe Azusa got to a higher level of karate just than Tomoka did,
Oh.
and or she did more competitions or something. I forget, but and also maybe not a higher level because she's younger, but she was doing like karate competitions that I don't think Tomoka did much of, and also Tomoka trained her, so
Hmm.
like Tomoka can be the prototype for a younger version of herself, and if she puts enough effort in, and Azusa puts enough effort in, obviously she's going to get a lot quicker. She's going to get a lot better quicker than Tomoka did because Tomoka didn't have a cutout, right? So Azusa is obviously going to be better quicker than Tomoka was just because she has a path to follow. Um,
Yeah.
but I can see it. I can see Azusa maybe becoming better eventually, but like it's not a certain thing. I wouldn't say.
Yeah. Rena handled her part of the promo really well.
Yes.
She's obviously a good promo, but it's always kind of it stands out a bit more during these live promos because yeah, she's just a natural. Um, And yeah, that was that. I imagine most of the people in the venue were expecting Azusa to jump because usually when somebody strolls out at the start of the show, it's to jump ship.
Mhm.
Because Rena wrestled, so you could have just challenged her after. But the Azusa is a busy woman; she had places to be.
This is
Um,
also she also mirrored this after Micah's Utami challenge.
oh, yeah.
That was what she was like taking inspiration from. Uh,
Oh, okay.
was Micah specifically. She even wore like
Interesting.
the blazer fit. Like it was
She did, yeah. I was like, so this is very snazzy for a
the
future
blazer
Stardom title
fit
shot.
with no shoes because she didn't have boots with her.
Yes, yes. Um, that was that. We then got on to the opener, which was Miyu Amasaki and Hanako beating Hina and Lady C. Kevin got the win in just under 7 minutes with the Amano Hashidate.
That move that Lee Moriarty used that one time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody knows it. It's the roll up. It's the
Yeah.
fun roll up with
It's a
the
great roll
legs.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. This was nothing. Like it
Okay.
was.
I had a
It was
feeling.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, the match after that then was Megan Bayne and May Sarah beating Mariah May and Waka Tsukiyama. Megan Bayne got the win over Waka in 8.5 minutes with the F5. I did see that we had the Wakasus, which
Yes.
I did want to watch this one for the vibes, but I
It
was
was
too
very
busy
fun.
playing. I was too busy playing NBA. So
See,
you guys are
I
lucky there's a
just
show. Like you guys are
yeah.
very lucky there's a show this week. There's a new 2K. I am not buying VC, so it is a grind. So wrestling is taking a back seat for a
It's
little
funny because
while.
wrestling has also taken a backseat for me because I just was on the grind to like beat all of the secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, which
Nice.
was very difficult. So yeah, we've both been preoccupied playing video games. Um, but yeah, this match was really fun. Obviously, as you said, the Waka sauce existed. Mariah came out with Waka on her shoulder, so May was like poking and prodding at Megan to let her get up on her shoulder, and Megan's like, "Fine, get up." There. And then she got up, and then, and then Megan's like headpiece kept falling down. And Megan's like, "What the fuck are you up here? Why the fuck is this happening?" Like she's looked so annoyed, and it was great. Uh, yeah, I think that like Megan and May has really been the most fun that Megan's been
Hmm.
because Megan's starting to warm up to her, and like
Yes.
nobody really expected that. It felt like it was going to be a static thing where it's like, okay, Megan's just always going to abuse May, and May's just going to be cool with it. But like Megan's like she's like very like she's into it, which is not like it's kind of like off. It's not what you would expect, and I really like that. I thought it was really fun. Mariah like called out Megan, and then May Sarah got in. She's like, "Nah, I want to fight you." And Megan's like, "Yeah, cool, go ahead." And like that's not a Megan Bane thing up to this point, so it's like you kind of see how the relationship has progressed, and I think it was really fun. And yeah, Megan just slaughtered Waka Tsukiyama, and
Yeah.
yeah, good.
For Waka.
It happens.
The match after that then was Saki Kashima and Suri beating Yuna Mizumori and Natsupoi. Saki got the win for her team with the revival in 8.5 minutes. How was this?
This was another like good match, not much of like a
Okay.
you know impactful one, but there were a couple spots, and I will go through them very, very quickly. So Sakashima even tweeted this out that she did two spots that she was like really pushing herself in this match. So at one point she did a sunset flip, and she tried to do the Riho bridge out of it, right? Like
Hmm.
the stand up, and she just like fucked up her back. Like that was like the bit was that she could not move because she just fucked up
Incredible.
her back trying to do it. And then a couple minutes later, she's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna impress Sherry right now." And she went for a shoot kick on Unimon, and she hurt the fuck out of her foot and had to tag out. And I thought that was so funny. Like I love Saki Kashima like trying, quote unquote, and then just hurting herself and just giving up. I love that. And then Sherry and Natsupoi did some fun stuff. Sherry went for two kicks on Natsupoi, and Natsupoi ducked them both and was like really cocky about it. And then she got fucked up on the third one, and just like rolled out of the ring because she was so hurt. It was great. And yeah, those were the fun spots this match. Otherwise, it was just wrestling.
All right. We then had the Stars team of Momokogo, Koguma, and Mayu Utani beating Fukigen Death, Rina, and Natsuko Tora when Mayu submit Rina with the Standing Dragon Sleeper in just under 8 minutes. So
The
this is the
Chibi Killer.
former High Speed Killer, now the Chibi Killer. Um, I'm sure it'll advance in name someday.
She started beating people who weren't high speed and were just small. So I was like, ah, I gotta
Yeah,
change it.
that's fair.
Like I forget who she beat, but I was like, I think it was I don't remember, but it was somebody who was small but not high speed. I was like, oh fuck, you can't call it that anymore. The highlight of this match was Koguma, Death, and Tall Ref Sato doing Three Stooges esque opening sequence. Um, where they were like all trying to poke each other in the eyes. It was like a whole thing, and that was very funny. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it was Koguma and Mayu were kind of carrying the bulk of this match, so obviously it was good. But it was fine. It kind of reminded me that Koguma wasn't in this tournament, and I was like, damn, it's kind of insane. Like she's still really good. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was the entirety of this match.
Yeah. Um, After that, then is where I can jump in. We had a Blue
Yes.
Stars block match. Saori Ano beat Mirai in just under 13 minutes with the pottering to go up to 8 points. Um, yeah, I so this was very good, but also underwhelming. In the
Hmm,
fact that I think these two could have one of the best matches of the year together. Like
probably.
they're such a natural pairing, you know.
This took a
Saori
while to get
Ano,
going. I felt like
yes,
the last
yes.
like 5 minutes were
That
really great,
that
but it was just
closing
kind of
stretch was such a
yeah,
tease of
100%.
the generational match they could have, especially when you take into account the fact that they are natural opposites. You know, Siriano is very confident, very cocky, likes to play the heel, really dominate a match, and then Mirai can play the underdog role. And if you just let that cook with a fantastic closing stretch, you got a great match there. But this time it was a lot of just Ano like slapping in submissions and kind of slowing the pace down. And then the last few minutes was them going crazy. So yeah, it was like a tale of two matches where the final few minutes really were very good, and it was like hell yeah, this could be fantastic. But the first part was just very, bleh,
Yeah,
so.
funnily enough, second All Japan Pro Wrestling reference in this show. It felt like a All Japan main event from nowadays, where it's like I've seen All Japan main events where it's like the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes are like they're good, but they are like completely forgettable, and then the last 5 minutes is like the most generational closing stretch you've ever seen, and you're
Hmm.
just like I don't know how to even feel about this shit. Like what, like what, like the first part wasn't bad enough to where it's like oh this is a bad match that only got saved by the end. But it also wasn't great enough to where it's like, oh, this match was like an all timer. That's how I felt about this match, where it's like
Hmm.
the 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 opening was like fine and like the middle part was fine. It was good. It was solid wrestling, but then it got really fucking good. And it's just like, oh man, I wish you were just kind of moving at that pace the whole time. Like that would have been so much more fun. Um,
Hmm.
and I think the next match kind of did the opposite of that, where it just like the entire time it was kind of like at a similar level, and it maintained that. I feel like this match really climaxed near the end, and it other than that, it was not as good as one might want. I still thought it was a really good match, though.
Yeah, Saori was somehow serving in the submissions though. I don't know if you noticed, they would like the camera would like zoom in on her just like staring daggers at the camera while locking in these submissions, and I was like, this is the coolest woman
You
in
know,
history.
I've always known this, not always, but I've known this since the Ozaki match where she bled and like the match didn't matter because she looked so cool. Um,
Yes.
it's always been the case, but they're like Suriano is just the most aesthetically pleasing wrestler like in
Hmm.
the world. Because like even after the match, she was like selling, and the way she was selling was like her belt was just falling down off her shoulder, and she was just like slugging her. I was like, why do you look cool right now? Like this is not
Yeah,
you're not meant to look cool right now. What is happening? You're just walking away, and it was just she just has it. She just has it. I hope they
she's
run this
great.
back.
Yeah, the post match gives me hope that they will. They very much like played up the fact that Mirai has the white belt, and it seems like in her post match comments as well, she did mention the belt. She was like, "Hey, this belt is meant to bring out these kind of feelings, and I definitely want to fight you again." So seems like Mariah is putting it out there into the universe that they will have a white belt match, and I will be here.
Hopefully.
I will be seated. Um, and I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, Soriano didn't really bring it up. She just was like, "Yeah, I won. I'm a beast." So
She actually said, check out Scabon in New York City on September 20th. I don't remember what day
yeah.
it is. It's crazy that that's a thing.
Oh, dude, listen. They put my favorite
Like, the more I
wrestler,
think
one
about
of
it,
my favorite wrestlers, in a cat suit.
in
She's a
a
cat.
gimp cat suit. Yeah, it
Like
like looks weird. Uh,
the
it's
dangerous
not just
kick
fucking.
lady is a
It's not
feline.
even it's not even like Harun and Neko type of like weird. It's just like it's weird. Um,
Yes.
yeah, like Chris Brooks on Dramatic Dream Dragons. I listened to that. Great show, by the way, guys. Um, I listened to that, and he was bringing up how he really wants to book Otaku-chan, who is just Kari Oniyama as a nerd. And I'm just like, that's a crazy thing that that's a thing now. Like that's just a like Kari Oniyama wearing a little spinner hat. Like that's a gimmick now. I love that. It's so great.
Yeah. Honestly,
That's our
it fits. It somehow
it's
fits.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
And yeah, he would do it justice. I feel like he
Yeah.
would have some crazy ideas. Um, yeah, that was that match. A lot of teasing for something great that should come down the line because we do have a few shows to fill the gap until whatever they do in December. I'm assuming they're still doing a big show in December. Maybe they won't. Who the hell knows? I'm
Hopefully.
sure if it's announced, it'll be the GP final. I would imagine that's when they would announce it.
Yeah.
Um, who knows? We'll
That's
have
where
to
they
wait and
usually
see.
do it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Because then you've like 3 months to like sell the tickets. Um, the match after that, anyway, was a Red Stars block match. Hazuki beat Starlight Kid in 10 minutes with a Hazuki straw. With that, Hazuki goes up to 6 points and continues her march up the table. This was like very distinct as a
Mhm.
match. You know, it started with Kid escorting out a beaten up Hazuki, kind
Who
of
had her
working
mask on?
over.
She like kidnapped her with put her
Yes,
mask on. It was the whole
kidnapped
thing.
her with a mask, beating her in the crowd, locking in submissions, and you kind of saw Hazuki kind of fight from underneath to get back into it, and the crowd was kind of behind Hazuki. So I liked what they did, given what they were going for, but obviously, like the best kind of Hazuki matches was her killing people, and not her selling. But you know what? We take what we can get, and they did what they wanted to do quite well. So it was different, which I always appreciate. I know I didn't think it was that bad, so it was
I
fine.
loved this match.
Really?
Like this was one of my favorite kid matches I've seen in like all year.
Oh,
Cuz yeah, it felt distinct, right? And I
hmm,
think the issue I have with Starlight Kid is that I just don't like her house style very much cuz it feels like she doesn't do enough of any one thing and it just kind of like gets a bit bland for me. I felt like she was really in it in this match. She was in that zone where it's like she was not doing anything except for trying to hurt Hazuki. And I was like, you know what? That works. I'm cool with that. We're rocking. And I thought Hazuki did a great job selling. I love that it started differently and it kind of kept that, you know, intensity up the entire time. It didn't have to build to anything at all. It just was like, okay, we're here and we're going to go until it's over. And I kind of liked that from a kid match. Uh, yeah, I just thought a lot of this was great. Hazuki hit like this senton that stuck on Kid's chest that looked disgusting. Loved that. Kid and Hazuki, when they were wrestling in the crowd, I doubt you noticed it. They wrestled right next to Jun Kasai and his
did
daughter.
notice? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
very fun.
they were
He
like
does he
Jun
does
Kasai was just
blend
like looking
in.
at them.
I feel
He
like
does like
if you
surprisingly.
didn't, yeah, like if you didn't know he was at the show, I feel like you could glance past it because he has the cap on and stuff like that. You could kind of blend him in. But yeah, they did the numero dos right in front of him.
Yeah, it was great. Which actually, I know we have a lot to talk about, but it is kind of funny. I was watching sumo yesterday. Didn't even notice that on the hard cam, Sonata and Taichi were right like in the second row. They were watching
Incredible.
sumo, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's them!" It's like I didn't notice that until like the end of the show. But yeah, I thought this match was great. It was like these top three matches were all just phenomenal to me. I loved them all a lot.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought this
that's
was a really
fair.
really good match.
I think you were the
And also,
highest person on this one, but I do
yeah.
understand. I do get it.
I feel like every year there's a Starlight Kid match that's like, that's what I want. Like if you're gonna do this, do that. This is how I felt about this match. Is that it's
Right.
like if you're gonna like lean into it, then lean into it. And I feel like she hasn't. And this match was her leaning into it. And I thought that was really,
Okay.
really fun.
All right. That's fair. Um, can I segue to the next match, or did you have another thing? Because I have a
No,
segue.
yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. Speaking of people doing their best stuff, we had Suzu Suzuki beating Tam Nakano in 13 and a half minutes in the red block. Suzu moves up to 6 points with this win. There is a form of Tam Nakano that she unleashes once a year that has zero regard for her body or the body of her opponent, and it leads to a generational GP match. So last year or the year before, it was that Takumi one. That was just
That was 2 years ago,
ridiculous.
yeah.
2 years ago, ridiculous. I still remember that match. That's how good it was. I can't name who it was last year. It might have been Suri,
I think it was Shuri. Yeah.
or Utami. And this year, it was with Suzu. They just beat each other for the entire match. Incredible. Like this is the best. This is the final form of Tam, and this was just the absolute best shit. And Suzu is Suzu. You know, if you're violent, she is willing and able to meet you at that level. So yeah, this was fantastic. Just all action, basically from start to finish. Very intense match. They did obviously have the generational struggle tag, so I think Suzu was trying to really step up and be like, hey, I am just as good as the current top stars in this company, and she really planted her flag here with this performance. And yeah, Tam reminds us that once a year she will go galactic in these tournaments.
Yeah, this was really, really good. Because they were just kind of beating the piss out of each other, and I like that. Uh, it was interesting because it felt it felt like they were like trying to make each other bleed in a way. Like at a
Hmm.
certain point, it looked like they were going a bit harder for some reason. Like, and not just like because it was more intense, but it's like I don't know. There were certain points where it was like, oh, they want this to be like a blood match type of thing, and it really made me want Tam versus Suzu in a death match, which I know I'm never gonna get, but I would really like that. Maybe on the Halloween show, maybe, huh? Maybe. Food for thought, Um, yeah, I just thought it was like really great. It was really intense, and they just fought like they were trying to kill each other, and I think that's important. Um, Tam was bumping her ass off too. She was taking some shit, so that was really fun.
Yeah, no, Tam, like that one moment where she was like thrown off the top rope onto the apron
Yeah,
that was harsh. And I feel like she does it a lot, but it looked
it
so
looked
much
grosser than
worse.
usual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like she took that one full on, and yeah, this was the best form of Tam.
I
Um,
mean the match started with Tam like twisting Suzu up in the turnbuckle and just like choking her life out.
yeah.
It was like just like within like the first like 90 seconds of the match. It was kind of insane. Like this match was like I'm probably lower on you than you are because I think I see like an even better match because I feel like they have more to do.
Well, if
Um,
they mic'd it up well, it would have been better because
that's
I
it.
think a lot of the forearms didn't have good sound. But they were throwing them with enough vigor that I was like, all right, they're definitely hitting each other. But yeah, they could have sounded a bit better. I don't know if that was
Probably.
Stardom not miking it properly. But if the forearms hit like this, listen, this is getting 5 stars. I don't care. But yeah, no, I thought it was great. But yeah, I can see where some people might not love it as
I mean,
much.
I still thought it was great, but I definitely think there's like more to it, and I'm really excited because I hope that they run it back at some point.
It seems like they will. Suzu did
Yeah,
pick up the belt and kind of kneeled over
like I
Tam.
said, give me a death match. I mean, I know they're not going to, but give me a
No,
death
they
match.
won't. Um, but yeah, she did kneel over Tam. She has challenged Tam kind of inadvertently in the past. But she, in her post match comments, very much was like, "Hey, I beat you. You're the Red King. I beat you." So yeah, it looks like we're gonna get these two in a red belt match. I don't know, maybe in November, I would assume. To kind of bridge the gap, but who knows?
Like I said, they could do a hardcore match at the Halloween show.
Would they do two
Depend.
title matches in the same month? Because Tam has not defended this red belt that often.
Well,
You
I
might be
mean,
asking
it's
a
at
bit,
the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. I mean, post 5 star is usually when all the red belt defenses are. Like, let's think about it like that.
kind of, but I don't know. I could see them going a bit more
I
gimmicky
mean,
for that Halloween show.
Utami defended the red belt like 6 times post 5 star when she held it.
True, but last year we only had one, so
That's true.
wasn't it just Siri Micah last year?
Yeah,
Or
well,
Siri
because
Utami? Was
yeah,
it
Shuri
Siri
Utami
Utami?
and Shuri Micah
I don't think
were
both
both
happened. I
post.
think it was just one.
Uh, I mean, I
Either
know
way,
they
there
both
wasn't
happened,
that
but
many last year, so
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
okay, have fun.
'Cause I know I watched them all. Oh fuck, I'm gonna
Well,
look.
we know we have watched the ball.
Yeah, we've watched every World of Stardom Championship match since like 2019 at least.
2018, I think. Wait. Oh yeah. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, because that's when we both started watching.
Shuri, Utami, Micah and Utami were post GP, and Nanai was during GP. Yep, that was
All
both
right,
of
so
them.
we had two. So yeah, Suzu and Tora as the two.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Okay.
I don't see anybody else really. I mean, like whoever wins will
Yeah,
challenge, but
true. Um, After that, then we had the main event. Was it the main event?
yes, it was.
Yes. It was a Blue Stars block match. Julia beat Micah in 12 minutes. with a Northern Lights bomb. And I'll let you take the lead on this one because I'm warm and need to take off my jumper. So
Yep, I thought this was great. I think it was kind of weird that Micah decided to like pull out all the stops in the match she's going to lose. Because this is kind of like what I wanted from the Utami match, in that Micah was really trying a lot of stuff. She was pulling out some stuff really deep in her bag. She hit the Superplex 3 Amigos combo, which, she kind of like was a bit sloppy with it, but I really like that. I think that's a really cool combo for her to use. She hit the big power bomb from Himeka. She was just really like throwing stuff at Julia that she doesn't usually use. And that's kind of what I was like expecting from the Utami match. I thought the Utami match was really, really good, but that was kind of what I was like, oh, well, you should probably do some more stuff because you guys have wrestled 8 times. Instead, Micah did it for this match in a match that she hasn't had 8 times. I'm pretty sure this is one of their first meetings. Like I think they probably had less than three. Uh, if not, this is like their second. So this was really great. I thought this was really, really fun. Julia's a psychopath. She was taken way too many bumps that I wouldn't if she is as is alleged injured. She should probably not be taking uh suplexes onto the floor on a bunch of chairs. Maybe not the best idea. Food for thought. But yeah, overall this was a really, really good match. I don't know if Alex is back or not, but he can talk a little bit now.
um, yeah, I mean, this is the first we're seeing of like big match Micah, I guess, since her, the red hair and the renewed energy. So I guess this is just going to be some of the first new staples, I guess. And if you're going to pull them out, it would be the generational struggle with your leader. So I kind of see why she did it. Um, so I don't mind. But yeah, I thought this was great. Like it was just a fight, like a big match feel. Julia was really going for it. Micah was going for it. Micah was really going for it. she was
Hmm.
putting this woman through hell. So yeah, Julia kind of fighting back from that made her look great. And she was always gonna win once Suzu beat Tam because you weren't gonna have like the new gen go over in both matches. So that was kind of that.
Probably should have, because Julia kind of big broed them after the match, where she's like, "I'm pretty sure we know who won this generational battle. I don't think we got to do it no more."
Oh yeah, she was like, "Yeah, we don't need to do this shit. I don't like it." But
Yeah, it's like I beat y'all.
yeah,
I think we're cool. But no, I thought this match was like really, really good. Like I said, I just kind of wish that like this match made me wish that Micah pulled out a few more tricks with Utami, because I was like, you could definitely do the stuff you're doing here against Utami and make it a bit more different. But I thought that match was great. I thought the match was great, so it's not like I'm
yeah.
too upset about anything.
I also realized this weekend that the stories about Julia from um Sunny might be exaggerated because
Okay,
there is no way this woman has a broken tailbone. she went,
no,
she did, she's done back-to-back table spots in back-to-back weekends,
she
and
took a
also,
suplex on the outside, like
yeah, Micah
nasty.
was hitting some nasty suplexes. This is not a woman. Uh, like I would not be doing that with a broken tailbone. That much I can
Yeah,
tell you.
I I,
So
I don't. I I think that she is hurt, but I don't think she is severely injured. That's where I'm at. Like I
yeah,
believe that she is like pretty badly hurt. She's probably very banged up. She's always banged up by this time of year. Let's be real. Um,
yeah,
like that's happened basically every year she's been in the company. And I can imagine that the Mariah match and that bump specifically, because I went back and watched it, definitely didn't help. But yeah, I don't think you know a broken back. I don't think she's fighting through a broken back or a broken tailbone. I think she's probably just has a pretty badly hurt tailbone at this point.
definitely. I don't know if we
And
should
if it
read
wasn't
into.
hurt before, it's hurt now.
Yes, that's true. I don't know if there's anything to read into about the Northern Lights bomb needing to be used. I have to go back and check. I feel like she's used it throughout the GP, but
Oh no,
I
you
don't
know
think
what? This was actually a really great finish.
it
Because
was.
I don't think there was anything specific about it. I think the thing was that it was the best thing to combo, right? So she hit a superplex. She hit Micah's superplex, and then she did the Seth Rollins roll through, and then hit the Northern Lights bomb.
Sick.
So it was kind of like a odd, like or not odd, an ode to Micah, and then she beat her with her move. Because obviously Micah's kind of become like the master of the superplex in this company.
Mm-hmm.
Like Utami only pulls it out when she's against Micah. Obviously now Julia's using it against Micah. Like it's just kind of her move. So that's why she hit the Northern Lights bombs, because it just like was a pretty natural combo out of the superplex, which is a great finish.
It is. Um, After the match, then Julia basically said, "Hey, I think Micah, you're one of my best friends. You're very strong. I look forward to continuing having you at my. Yeah, Jesus Christ! I look forward to you
Words.
having my back. Even though we're stable mates, you're still strong." And so she kind of was like, "Stay in your lane, honey." So sure. Suzu Suzuki showed up and was like, "Hey, Micah, I did my part. I did mine. You lost. What? Like what? Why do you keep
This
losing,
is
you
becoming like
loser?"
Christian Cage with dads. It's like every
Yes.
time Micah loses in Korakuen Hall, he's gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Why you losing?" Like it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know how much I like Suzu and Micah bickering and that being their entire thing.
dude, I
Um,
have no idea.
I
Like they
think it's
went.
fun, but I think they're being a
Yes.
bit too much. I
It
feel
is
like it
very
is kind of
extra. It's a
yeah.
very weird turn of character for both. I could
'Cause it's
see
like, where do we
Suzu
even go
doing it
from here?
because I could see Suzu being like an annoyance, but not
Yeah,
to Micah. Like not to Micah specifically. And also Micah is so this is so out of character for her. Like she's just like
she's
above
always been the
everything.
straight, well, not the straight
Yeah,
man,
she is
but
an above everything alcoholic. She does not care. She just wants a lust for tall women. Like let her be. But no,
like
she
Micah's
is.
humor is not subtle, but it's very like dry. So her
Yeah.
just getting into screaming matches and like everybody laughing is not what you would necessarily expect
Hmm.
from Micah as a character. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's also it's not a great progression from when I thought she was gonna break away and lead her own faction with Suzu in it, and they were
Yeah.
both gonna be beasts. But you know what? Here we are.
That's
Um,
what it means. That's like, so does everybody just join DDM and like Micah and Suzu are just like,
yeah, probably.
chaotic sisters, and that's just what we're doing. Um, That's another thing actually, is that it felt like they were also lining up Mei Sarah to be more united with Tekla and Mai Sakurai, and then
Dude, I don't even know. Like
they
the
just
Rossi is
didn't.
throwing darts at a dartboard at this
That,
stage.
that's what I
Like,
mean, is that it's like I was like, oh yeah, Julia, Suzu, and then like Mei Sarah and Tekla. Like that could be like a high speed team, and that could be cool. But no, no, not
oh,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, after the match, Julia did big bro them, or big sis
Mhm.
them, if you want. And then Susan and Micah were like, "Wait, but I want revenge on Julia. No, I want revenge on Julia. Let's get revenge on Julia together." And Julia's like, "Wait, what's happening?" Like
Well,
she's in the
Micah
background, like,
suggested it. Micah was so
"Yeah,
annoyed at Suzu annoying her that she was like, "Hey, what? Well, let's challenge for the Artis belts then. I'll show you I can win." And Suzu wasn't happy with that. She was like, "Why do I have to team with you? You're weird." And
that's what
apparently,
I mean." Is that it's like, why
hold
would
on.
you
Let
say
me,
that?
let, let me. I have to
Sorry,
tell the
sorry,
people,
sorry,
Dylan. I have to
sorry,
tell the
sorry, sorry.
people.
I
I have to
apologize.
tell the people.
I got.
The voice of the voiceless here. Let me do. Let me do my thing.
Why are you talking like that?
Because you keep cutting in. I'm trying to tell the people.
It's my
All right.
bad, yo.
So Micah, apparently Micah said my mom says so, and I'm just like, what?
What is happening?
So I don't know, but they both were like, okay, we need a third, and I think the crowd was chanting for May. It was either May San or Megan. I cannot be
I think
sure.
they're chanting for Megan. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, but either way, the crowd picked up on it very instantly. We're like, "Oh, hey, you guys have a third," and they both said Megan, and Julia in the background just like dies instantly. She's like, "Nah,
Yeah,
I don't want to do this." So,
she knows she ain't staying a strong artist for very long.
Yeah, yeah, Julia was very funny in the background. Like as they were arguing, she just like lay down for a while and was like, "I'm taking a nap," and then yeah, Megan Bain kind of brought her back to life. Um, they so I think the crowd started chanting for Megan, expecting her to come out, and Julia was like, "Hey, she's not coming, man. She doesn't understand what we're saying." I thought that was very funny. She was like, "Does she even know like what's happening?" Um, so yeah, Julia
She
dog
didn't.
walked both of them. Like she was so entertaining here. Like Julia is just so cool. But yeah, that got us to the artist match that we discussed earlier with Suzu, Micah, and Megan Bain. Um, and yeah, Suzu and Micah, they are bickering. That is their thing now.
Oh yeah,
And
that's one more thing. Suzu, Micah, and Bane are definitely winning the trios belts. So that also
Yeah.
takes out the front runner of the Goddess of Stardom Tag League, which was probably Micah and Bane.
Yeah.
What? What are we doing, bro?
Darts on a dartboard, my friend. So yeah, Micah and Suzu left, and Julia closed the show, and that was that. So
Good show.
great. Yeah, I mean these
Yeah.
Korakuens are always fantastic, even just for the fact that the crowd is actually alive, because a lot of these shows do not have alive crowds these
I mean,
days.
Korakuen is in just everything is like such a great venue.
Yeah, but
Like
for
even
Stardom,
watching,
it's like a stronghold now for
yeah,
Stardom.
it's necessary. Like it is a
Yeah.
necessity throughout their year. Because like I was watching like a New Japan match and like I watched one show from Korakuen, one show from like Chiba, and I was like, holy shit! Like Korakuen is just. I need to go back to Korakuen. This is rough. So yeah, it's like that in most companies in Japan, but Stardom especially, where it's like
Yeah.
great spot.
So, the Corkin, yeah, interesting show. A lot of promo stuff, a lot of character stuff. Some people taking steps forward, other people taking steps back. We then had another show to review. On September 10th, we had the Dream Tag Festival in Yokohama Budokan. This did 1,479 fans, which is a huge success. I mean, 1,500 people for a show with literally nothing given away. All tag matches, no titles on the line, no huge things kind of happening. I got 1,500. I think that is a success, no doubt. Um, it was a pre-show match. Oh, of course there was. It was a
Yeah,
gauntlet tag.
May and Megan won,
May and Megan should have been the tag league team.
and Megan basically was like, you know what, you're all right, kid. You're being useful. You're
I
being
love it.
useful.
Incredible.
And like that's like, and May Sarah was like giddy. She's like, oh my god, I got called useful. It was great.
The actual show then opened with Mina Shirakawa and Tam Nakano beating Suri Anu and Natsupoi. Tam pinned Natsupoi with the Andromeda roll up in 10.5 minutes. And the the entrances. So everybody had mashup themes for throughout the show. So Natsupoi and Suri Anu, they've always had a mashup theme as a tag team, and it is great. Mina and Tam, let me tell you, Mina doing her dance and finishing it just as Tam's music starts to fade in. That was a religious moment. Like in that moment, nothing else mattered. Incredible, incredible vibes. Made the show alone worth it. And then the match itself was very good, which was obvious. I mean, look at these four wrestlers. Um, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I'm not usually one to take umbrage with Natsupoi losing, but they
Just a
couldn't.
minor thing. I think you've started. I don't know what you did to your microphone, but now when you breathe, it's like there's wind.
Yeah, okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know.
It's
I don't know
better.
what it just
Is it any
happened
better?
recently. Yes, it's
Are we
perfect.
good? I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm holding my breath like instinctively or. Oh, okay, fine.
No, I think you're
Um,
okay.
yeah. So for all like, I am not. I don't have any problem with Natsupoi losing matches, but it's kind of crazy because like the first half of this match, Tam and Mina were just actively beating the shit out of each other. And then they still won over the tag team champions. I was like, that's a bit much. That's a nitpick. I was just like, still like a really good match. I'm not like upset, but I was just like, that's a choice. Is having like the can they coexist team? The answer is no, but they still win anyway. Bizarre, but like just bizarre choice. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun match, and it was a roll up, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. But it was just a it was a strange choice. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I get they're both main eventers, but I was just like, they're fighting each other right now. I'm watching them fight. Why are they winning?
Yeah. I mean, if Dream H weren't like a previously established team, it'd be worse. But I think
That's
it's
true.
okay.
They
Um,
also were pretty shit as a tag team. Like canonically, they couldn't
True.
make anything happen as a tag team.
They still have like the experience. I would say they've teamed more than the current tag champions. So
That's true.
after the match, then we had some interesting stuff. Tam was like, "Hey, Mina, you were next to me and we won. So how about we do the dance one more time?" And Mina was like, "Nah, I can't. I don't want to do the dance. Like I have my own thing now." And the Cosmic Angels music hit, and she danced anyway. And she was like, "I'm so sorry. My body just reacts. I can't help it." And I was like, "I understand. I understand."
Anu was
So
also doing the dance, but she was just like, "Oh fuck this shit, bro."
Anu
I just
like
lost the match.
secretly loves the dance. Like she knows the
Yeah, but I think
choreography
because
beat
she
for beat.
lost, I think because she lost, she's like, "Man, fuck this shit. I don't want to
It's
be
true.
here." She's
But
doing the
she
dance
also
moves, you
doesn't
know,
like it. Like secretly she likes it, but she has to pretend she doesn't. Like
just to save
she's
face.
too cool for that. But she
Yeah,
knows every step, so it's
she
quite
is. She
fun.
is actively. She is too cool for that. Like that's
Yeah.
true.
Mina kind of had a cool line. She was like, "Hey, like, I will beat Tam Nakano as the leader of Club Venus, and I will take your belt away from you." And I was like, "Let's go." So seemed to be really teasing Tam and Amina being the direction for the red belt. So like, I don't know if Mina wins the belt from her because like, I feel like that would be a change of plans from what was previously established.
Yeah, that's a
So
pretty heavy change, and I don't think they can give
it
her
is.
another 30-day reign. I'm gonna be
No,
real.
like it would be a complete waste of like her getting both of the belts if you took both of them off her in V1 or V2. So either they're changing all of their main event title plans or they're running this in December in place of Saya. But because they're very heavy-handed in teasing the fact that they are doing this for the red belt. But I almost feel like Ina has to win because cannot have Tam beat her in front of her own dad. Be like, "You fucking suck. This is what you get for leaving me. I'm taking everything away from you," and then have Mina lose again. I don't know if how that would go down. So, yeah, they're in a weird one
Yeah,
with
I
the
also would
red
just
belt.
prefer if they didn't do that. Like like I don't know. I'm excited for something from Tam that isn't Mina slash Julia related.
Mhm.
Um, and I just really hope that that's not what the year end match is. I'm sure like Mina's, and I always have to like verify this that I do like Mina, but like I just don't like. Let's just do something else, please.
I for
That's
one
all I
would
want.
very much enjoy a Mina red belt run. Um,
I
but
know you would,
yeah.
but
Well, that
we have to
whoa,
have the
whoa,
Tam
whoa,
match. We have to
hold
have the
on
Tam
now.
match
That
first, and I don't want to do that.
oh, that felt targeted. That felt a little venom in that one. Damn,
Oh
goodness.
man.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the red belt because Utami went back to ace mode and then they were like, "Oh shit, sorry, but we're going with Mina." So I don't really know.
But I also don't like. I feel like it's also very possible that like what a week from now, when do things kind of get shaped out? Um,
Yeah, basically. Like there's four
yeah, a week
shows in
from
the next
now,
7 days. So
Utami's the front runner for her group or
yeah,
for her
yeah,
side of the table. I
probably.
mean, like if Mina loses to Momo, I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But anyway, that is just an interesting kind of thing with the red belts that they seem to be doing. I suspect because Saya isn't in tag league, she's probably doing the December comeback like Julia did.
Yeah,
But that's just my
I
guess.
really miss Saya, man. I'm really itching for her to come back.
All right. Also, Mina in her post-show comments promised to make Tam cry. So I think you are now on board with Mina Shirakawa title win. Um,
There
after
you
that,
go.
Kyrie showed up. Whoa, wow, Kyrie.
Who would have thought?
Um,
Yay.
so she was like, "Hey, I want to wrestle in Stardom one more time. I'm setting off on my new voyage. And I've loved my year and a half here." And then out strolls Hazuki, Saida, and Koguma. And Hazuki, is like, "Hey, we would love to have another match with you. We are homegrown Stardom wrestlers. Let's wrestle you." Um, Kyrie's like, "Yeah, well, you're kind of stuck in the 5-star. So I don't know if we can wrestle,
And
but
Ida and Koguma are like, no, we're not. What we're
yeah."
we're not in it.
But she said, "Hey, but I know my deadline was September. You guys have that Nagoya show on October 9th, so I think I can make it to the Dolphins Arena for one last match." Out strolls Nanai in the loudest form possible and
Passionable.
says, "Yeah, passionable." And she says she wants to team with Kyrie. Kyrie agrees and then asks Mayu Iwatani to come out to the ring. to form pretty much a super team. Mayu, Nanai, and Kairi taking on Hazuki, Koguma, and Saida. Um, yeah, they didn't really say much of note. They just kind of set up the match for Nagoya. So yeah, last Kairi match in Stardom before she goes back to the Fed. Her arch rival is now back too, Nia Jax.
And
So
Asuka loves Nia Jax.
dude, Asuka is so funny because she's like, I'm beefing with everybody. And I'm like, oh, you've regressed to Manifesto kind of, haven't you? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You would think I said that the Fed breaks your brain, but I think her brain's been broken a bit longer.
yeah. Listen, I saw
Which
those
is okay.
Nakajima matches.
Yeah, it's okay.
She's
Um,
blurry. Her
but
brain
yeah,
is just fuzz.
so Kyrie, okay, no, first of all, the more important thing, Nanai coming out and just having all of the like individual shouts of Pasha from the crowd, love that. Need that.
Yeah.
Like if I ever became a wrestler, I would want people just randomly yell Pasha like in the middle of my matches. Like that's the dream right there.
Mhm.
Um and Kyrie is dodging Azumi because she knew Azumi had a title match on that one day, and she was like,
Um,
"Nah,
Easy.
nah, I'm dodging."
Yeah. You know
She's
what's
running from the
funny?
grind in so many ways.
She is. She is also not putting anyone over. She's
No,
like they're beating Ida. This is crazy.
which is really
Uh,
fucked up, by the way.
yeah. It's like you could have lost to like one person. I'm not a huge people have to like constantly put over the next generation or whatever. I feel like you should lose to somebody other than Mercedes Money
She
in your
didn't put
big comeback.
anybody really over when she left the first time. I mean, she did, but not really.
No,
Like even Io
she
at least put over Momo like heavily. She
yeah,
just she's got dipped. Like I mean,
yeah,
she didn't win all of her matches, but I don't know.
he's crazy.
Kyrie a bit
It's
sus. I'm gonna be
it's
real.
Yes. I'm
Mega sus.
also very intrigued by this match because Kyrie, she was not good in that Sendai Girls tag, and then she was good in the All Japan tag. So it's like I have no idea anymore what she's gonna do. So she could either not try at all, or she could put in a generational performance. Um, Either way, I'm sure it'll be an interesting match, even if just to see Mayu team with Nanai and Kyrie, because that is quite the fun team. But yeah, that was that. Um, After that, then we had Mirai and Mai Sakurai taking on Hina and Rina. Mirai got the win over Hina in 11 in just under 12 minutes with the Miramari submission. Um, yeah, it was all right, I guess. I had a
If
good
you
time.
if you just look at the Hina Mirai output from this match, it was quite fun. I thought Hina did like surprisingly well opposite Mirai. Uh, I kind of blacked out during the Mai Sakurai Rina parts.
Yeah.
No, okay, you know what? Mai Sakurai hit like a really cool like jumping kick, like a jumping side kick at one point, to Hina or to Rina. That's about it. Um, otherwise it's like okay. Um, yeah. Also, like I'm not one to criticize Mai Sakurai, but her Paradise Lock looks like shit. Please get better at it.
Hmm,
Like it's a great move for her because she's like, I think it's like kind of like that comedy, but like also like, I think it's a great move, but just get better at making it look not terrible, please.
that's fair. She did sit on Rina after the match, which
Yeah,
I was like, that's beast. And then she got on the microphone, and I thought she was going to challenge Mirai to a white belt match because that just
that would have
seems
made
like a
sense
very
probably.
yeah, it seems like a very standard match to do. But instead, they agreed to be a team for a tag league. So, kind of rolling it
How
back.
how have they made me feel bad for Ami Sourei? Like I'm not
Uh,
I'm not missing the new eras in Tag League, but it's
I
like
think I think once you watch Tam and Ami this weekend, that will go away.
okay, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, yeah. I think they're gonna have an interesting dynamic because Mai Sakurai is still doing the lady thing, and
Mhm.
Mirai is just Mirai. So even in
Mariah
the
is like the most
post,
common folk person. That's great.
yeah. So apparently in the post match comments, Mirai like whispered to herself, "Put your soul into it," and Sakurai was like, "Shut up, I'm the lady. I don't do that." So yeah, they're gonna have a fun interplay.
Yeah, I don't know if
Um,
you know this, Alex, but DDM and God's Eye are still the same faction.
Yeah, they are in DDM and God's Eye. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh,
Things never
yeah.
change.
Nope. The match after that was Mariah May and Hanan beating Momokogo and Momo Watanabe when Momo Watanabe got herself disqualified by attacking everybody else with a baseball bat because she got tired of it. Um, First Mariah and Hanan to like fully get what this show is meant to be
Yeah.
about because they swapped everything, gear, cadence, all of it. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, I thought this was like a really fun match. I thought that, like you said, it kind of was what you want from this show because it was just really fun. It was really like, I don't know. Until Momo disqualified herself and reminded me, oh yeah, Momo is still Momo. Um, yeah, I thought this was like all super fun. I thought that Momo Kogo trying to like bond with Momo Watanabe was really funny as well. Like her being like, okay, like no, but seriously, let's just get along. Let's just let's pose. And Momo's like, I'm not fucking posing with you the entire time. I thought that was great.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I thought this like was a great character showing for Hanan as well. Like I don't know, like you don't expect much out of Hanan in that department because she's just such like a clear baby face. That's just like a I'm gonna try my best type of thing. And that's what she's been since she debuted pretty much. But her like doing this completely different gimmick and like leaning into it as much as possible, I thought was really funny. Um, yeah. Oh, one more thing. Uh, Mariah May. I'm gonna miss her a lot, obviously, but she not only has she improved in every way inside the ring, she's also improved at twerking in the past 6 months somehow. Like that as also a thing. I like not to be. This isn't me being weird. It's just I actively was like, oh, she can't twerk like a few months ago, and she could twerk now. Like what? Like this girl is a prodigy. Like she's not a prodigy. She's older than, but she's insane. She's a learner. Shouts out
Yeah.
to her.
Hey, good for Mariah. Um, After the match, when Momo got on the microphone, she was like, "This is all shit. I hate you all." But I beat Mariah in the 5-star Grand Prix, and I want my white belt match so I can beat that shitty underdog honor student Mariah. So it's great. I like it.
Momo
So
back to the white belt, like legitimately.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
last time
It's
she was like, I don't want to fucking be here, but I want to beat the fuck out of Saya. And now she's like, no, I want to take the white belt from you.
she pretty much accepted that she likes the white belt after the last one, so it's all right.
Very
Oh,
Naito of
she
her.
she did still say she's not interested. Apparently, yeah.
Very Naito of her.
Post show comments. That's why I have the right to challenge for the white belt, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested. But when Mariah's in the most despair, isn't it time to drop the belt? And I'm just like, okay, I guess. So she just wants to see her
Homegirl,
cry, basically.
homegirl definitely thinks she's Naito.
Very much so. I don't think the other team really said much. I think Mariah once again tried to win over Hanan. I think
Yes.
even Mina got in on it and was like, you should join
Yes.
Club Venus. And I was like, don't, please.
I think
So,
Mariah also groped her at one point, which is a
oh,
bit weird.
I see. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like it. That's nah.
The second I heard you say that, I was like, you didn't mean that.
Oh God. Um,
Cut it.
I feel like I can't now. I will just never mind. I just didn't expect you to say that, quite frankly. So
That's what happened. I'm not making it
yeah.
up.
Okay.
So they have a
All right.
fun dynamic though. Like outside of that, they have a really fun
Kind of.
dynamic. I'm gonna miss them.
All right. The next match was Hazuki and Natsuko Tora beating Nanai Takahashi and Ruaka in 15 minutes when Hazuki got the win with the diving senton. Um, yeah, this was also one of those matches that really makes Dream Tag Festival because Ruaka did not want to be here. Um, Reminded me of that brief phase of Utami where every time she went to a press conference, she looked like she wanted to like be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Well,
Ruaka
now
had that energy.
as I texted to you, now instead of not wanting to be at the press conference, she just gets drunk and like looks incredibly hungover at the press conference. It's great.
Yeah, it's
Um,
fair.
that's my theory. But no, yeah. So talk about Ruaka and Nanai first. So I thought that was great. I thought the mother-daughter dynamic was, like, really fun. I thought that some of their double team moves was really fun. Once they kinda, like, got in the same wavelength, I was like, "Oh, this is, like, a really cute and a really, like it works, like, this tag team really works," and I like that a lot. Um, they did a really good job. On the other side of things, I was levitating, Alex. I
Okay.
I like, you know how you feel when, like, restarts around or, like, when Mina does anything or,
I don't think it's the same.
Soriano is, like, serving or whatever. This was that.
Okay.
This was my moment right here. Fucking
Right.
Hazuki out with the fucking Kagetsu style cut, like, with the white and black, like, with the fucking pants. Them doing the pose, them fucking flipping you off, like, them doing the tag moves together. Like, I was so worried that Natsuko was going to do the Momo, right? What Momo did in the match before, where it's like, oh, like yeah, I'll team with you and we'll kind of fight together a little bit, but then we're gonna like then I'm gonna turn on you and it's gonna be a whole thing. From start to finish, from entrance to the time that they both left the ring, completely like it was like a moment in time, like it was like a dream, like legitimately. Um, and it really like brought me back to one of my favorite most underrated tag teams of 2019 was Hazuki and Natsuko together, and I just thought this was great. I mean, Hazuki got to do some heel stuff, which if you've only seen her post return from retirement, Hazuki, like, her bread and butter was doing heel work, and I thought she like hadn't missed a step. She was so great in this match when it comes to that sort of stuff. I thought Rock was a surprisingly good like babyface in peril for Nanai to get the hot tag off of. And yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of cool stuff. Like they did the Oedo Tai Rush that they used to do. This match was genuinely maybe not the best match of the night, but it was definitely my favorite match of the night. I just enjoyed it so much because it warmed my heart a lot.
Okay. Um, yeah, it
Double
was great.
missed. Sorry,
Yeah, double missed.
double missed
No, it
as
was
well.
great. Like a lot of the wrestling was really good too. Like Nadai and Hazuki were going at it a little bit. There was a point where Hazuki was throwing some big boots, and they were big booting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think I could put it any better than you did. In that Hazuki and Tora were the moment, very briefly.
They
Um,
also won. Hazuki and Natsuko won with the Death Valley Bomb into the Bombs Away version 2, which is the big senton.
all
Um,
right.
and then after the match, which I thought was really like kind of like it felt weird almost. After the match, and I tried to murder Natsuko first of all. She failed, but she tried to choke her out. And then after that, like Hazuki was in the ring, and Natsuko like she was on the ground. She was in the ring, and Natsuko like raised her hand. She like patted her on the chest. Was like, "Yeah, we won." And she just dipped, and no heat. She's kind of looked back at Hazuki, and there's just like this like really tense feeling for a second, and I was like, "This is really cool." After the like in the post match, Natsuko said that she has no ambition to team with Hazuki ever again, but that's just what he'll say. Um, yeah, this made me very happy. I just had to get the post match in a little bit.
All right. Yes. In the post show comments, Natsuko was like, "Hey, how long has it been since I teamed with Hazuki? It's been 2 or 3 years since Kagetsu left in about 2020. There are a lot of things on my mind. I was the one who did your retirement match, and then yeah, it was like I had fun, but I will not team with you again." But Hazuki also said it was fun. Nanai and Rocca had a bit more of a complicated one because Nanai was like, "Hey, you thought that was awesome, didn't you? Your freezer bomb is coming along." Rocco was like, no, like I want this towel just to wipe my face. And then I just wasn't having it. She was like, I'll carve passion into your heart next time I'll fight next to you. You have a long way to go. You're the future of Stardom and women's wrestling. Um, but then I was like, hey, I'm gonna
That's
like
really sweet.
shine you up. And Rocco was like, nah, dog,
Go
go
away.
away. Yeah. So, fun time. I really would
It,
like to see Rocco and Lanai actually pair up because
yeah,
I think you could do an easy story of Rocca like slowly improving under Nanai's tutelage, but obviously Nanai isn't around full time to do it, so it's kind of difficult.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing either of these teams together at
Yeah.
some point in the future. Um, one last thing, just because I remembered in my brain. Uh, one of their last tag team matches together, Natsuko and Hazuki, in their pre-match promo, and I have this I have this photo saved of Natsuko going, "I'm really excited to team with my favorite person of whom I respect, Hazuki-san." As Hazuki's just standing there, like, why are you being so sweet right now? What's going on?" I love them. I love them. I'm so happy they got the team together. This is my
Alright.
fanboy moment.
See, we'll have fun. Um, After that, then we had Suzuki and Julia wrestling to a 20-minute time limit draw with Maika and Utami Hayashishita. Um, Maika and Utami just works as like the powerful wine mom tag team. Like, I'm very upset that they will never get an
I feel like they're
extended
too
run as a tag
masculine to
team.
be wine moms. They're too like
That's true. That's true.
like
They're
they I don't know.
sports. They're sports
They're
alcoholics.
uncles. They're uncle. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're uncle types,
They
not
they watch the
wine moms.
baseball and get drunk. Yeah.
Yes, they
So
drink beer.
yeah. So I mean, I'm just
Tequila.
disappointed they'll never get a run together as a tag team because they do fit really well. And I mean, I think they could just run the tag division for a little while as like the two power wrestlers who just beat everybody up and then drink after. 'Cause, yeah, they worked really well here together, and
I
I
mean,
thought they were great in the match.
I feel like depending on how long this roster, like how long these wrestlers want to wrestle, I feel like 20 years from now, when they're like old, them being like an old bastard tag team where there's fucking they Ozaki motherfuckers, that's exactly what's going to happen if they're both in the game, 15 years from now.
Actually,
But I definitely see it working
yeah.
that way if they're both around.
Julia and Suzu strutting down with weapons was beast. And then yeah, we had a pretty good 20-minute match. They did briefly do Julia and Utami, but they like very quickly got away from that
Mhm.
because they are really protecting that one. So what we did get was great, but yeah, they did steer clear of Julia and Utami doing too much. But like it was great fun.
Yeah, this match also made me realize that Suzu has like two really great singles matches that she hasn't even like smelled, which is
Hmm.
Utami and Micah. And she isn't even like looking towards in this tournament. So I think that's really dope. Uh yeah, the match itself was like fun. Like there was a lot of cool stuff in it. But, it was one of I think these last three matches were all really, really good. Um so I enjoyed it. Why the fuck are people texting me? I don't like when people text me. Put my phone on the other couch.
Okay. Um,
Um
yeah, there was aforementioned table spots. Julia and Suzu did pile drivers through them, and that was when I was like, okay, Julia is maybe not as injured as we thought.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean this was like always going to go to a draw, so the finishing stretch was just like really exciting. Um, I kind of was like, yeah, there's not going to be a winner, but they did it well enough.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I thought that like having the table spots kind of made it pace out better because it was
Mm,
like you always are kind of waiting for that to happen, and then it finally happens, and there's like just time to have like the rest of the cool match. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I thought it was like a fun match overall. I will say it was really funny because Suzu and Utami's table broke under their weight like half a second before they hit the move, and Suzu was just like, "Oh fuck, what the fuck was that? Why did it feel like that?" Um, and I thought that was really funny. Oh, and also like you said, the drunkards over there, they forcibly made or Suzu and Julia as they were laying down on the tables drink their alcohol, and Julia was
see,
fine, but Utami like tried to drown Suzu in tequila, and I was like, that's insane. And like Suzu was like coughing, she was dying. I was like, holy shit, she's trying to kill her. It was great.
all right. Um, After the match, then Julia and Micah kind of addressed the challenge from the day before. Everybody went to leave, and then Risa Sera and Kurumi Hiragi showed up and attacked Julia and Suzu. Kurumi laid out Suzu with her own version of a B driver, and then Micah rushed
Bastard layout.
in for the save. Sarah said, "Hey,
She did
we're
not rush.
prominent."
She was watching from the ramp for like a good like 30
It's
seconds,
true,
and I was like,
yes.
"What's that about?"
That was fun. And then Sarah was like, "Hey, we are here to announce our participation in the Goddess Tag League. Suzu, we were riding together until a while ago, but this time we're gonna make a big deal of you as our external enemy." Um, and Julia was like, "Hey, what's going on with that senior over there? These things are breaking apart." Um, so yeah. I was initially like, dude, are they really going back to Julia versus Prominence? But it seems to be more of a Suzu versus
Hmm.
Prominence, which is a
Yeah,
lot better,
you got ratioed.
really.
You did
I
get
had like
ratioed on
there
this
was like
table.
one. Oh, I didn't.
There,
There
yeah,
was like one.
the quote retweet was it ratioed you.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Well,
notice.
it did at the time. I was like, damn, like people really disagree with you. Yeah, I mean, like I think it makes sense if you're gonna have Kurumi and Risa Sera in Stardom for them to take umbrage with fucking Suzuki just dipping on them. Like that makes sense. Um, and I think Julia, as I've said before, just always finds herself in the center of things and doesn't lose. Like I think that's the funny thing about Julia is that it's never like she finds herself in the middle of something and she becomes the victim of it. She always finds herself in the middle of a story, regardless of if it like makes sense for her to be there or the middle of a main event or of anything, and she always walks away looking good. You know what I mean? I think that's very funny because it's like I think that's something you brought up is that it's like, okay, how do Karumi and Risa Sera look competent when they're just going to lose to Julia again? Inevitably. That's what this is gonna, you
Yes.
know, end up being. And it's like I feel like that's the case for everybody against Julia. Like
Yeah.
nobody leaves a
Like
Julia except for Tam.
they specifically keep coming back, and she continues to curb stomp them. It's like
Yeah.
get the memo at some point. Take the message. But yeah, I don't know. It seems more of a Suzu feud than a Julia feud.
Yes.
So
Which I'm
it's
excited for. I
fine.
think that'll be fun.
Um, I do
Kurumi's
wonder
great.
why they didn't. Yeah, that's cool. Kurumi is great. I wonder why they didn't do this last week. Like, what was the
Yes.
delay?
Why did they have
L-
to have the sweet moment at all? Like, what was the point?
yeah,
Like,
just
they made it look like, oh, we're all cool, and it's like, no, we're not, bitch. Fuck you. Like a
I
week
thought
later.
the chapter was closed. I thought the Ice Ribbon Outsiders were gone and we were just back to normality, but show back up. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't do this a week before, unless they just didn't know they were going to be in Tag League until this week. But who knows? Julia in the post match comments was like, "Hey, I'm drunk because I had one sip of the tequila, but we should definitely be a tag team. I hope you join DDM someday." So that was kind of it. Um, and yeah, Suzu or Sarah tried to kind of make it work. She was like, "Hey, I jumped in. I told Julia I'd repay the debt, but I didn't expect it to come a week later. However, we are here. I have announced my participation in Tag League. I don't know what will happen with Julia and Suzu, but Suzu did come to start. So it's like Suzu, did you come to Stardom just to have fun with Julia? I think you've lost your fangs. So we
Yeah.
prominence will make your fangs grow once more as an external enemy. Um, yeah, it seems to be
Which I
a
think
level
is
up
like
Suzu thing.
I think it's an interesting situation because I mean they have a point where it's like Sue is like, oh, I'm leaving prominence, but I'm still gonna do death matches. I'm still gonna be like this fighter that I. And then she came into Stardom, and it's like, she's great, but she definitely had that time where it's like she's just tagging with May Sarah and bickering with Micah. Now she's having a great 5-star, but like like I can see where it's like, oh, you went from like standing toe to toe with Jun Kasai and bleeding buckets against Risa Sera, to just being, you know, a member of the Stardom roster. So I can see where they're kind of like, what they're pulling from, and I think it's an interesting way to go at it. But
She even
they're definitely
officially
going to lose together.
signed yet? Because I feel like
She's on the roster
she
page now.
isn't. It's oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah, I guess until she like fully signs, then I don't know. I feel like it's a
She
bit.
is signed though.
Oh,
She's on the roster
I don't know
page,
if
like I
they've
said.
announced. Like usually they would announce it. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm a roster member now."
Do
You know,
they
like
do
full
that now?
time.
Because like I mean, Unimon is full time.
Yeah, but like not technically. I don't really know, to be honest, but I feel like they would have announced it for Suzu, just to clarify that she will not go anywhere else. But I don't really know. But yeah, either way, it's good if they level up Suzu with this feud rather than continuing to drag Julia into Ice lore because she's kind of done with the Ice Ribbon stuff. You know, she's beaten everybody. It's time to like let that go. Um.
I feel
Anyway.
that Julia might be a bit too strong moving forward, but that's a discussion for another day.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
'Cause, like
Yeah.
I'm thinking she's pretty much done with everybody. Like she just beats everybody. Like I don't know, but yeah, let's move on to the main event.
Yeah. The main event then was Starlight Kid and Azumi beating Saki Kashima and Mayu Iwatani in 15 and a half minutes with the Azumi Zushi. Um, so Kid and Azumi also got the memo. They
Yes.
had matching masks. It took me a while. I was like, Kid looks so something not right about Kid, and then I realized it's because she had changed the mask back to the closed top.
Yeah, she only wears the open top during her tournament matches.
Yeah, so it took me like 5 minutes because I think this is the first time since she's changed her hair that I've seen her with the
Yeah,
closed
'cause
top
she has short
one.
hair.
Because yeah, it was peeking at the back, and I was like, she looks different, but I cannot get it. But that was it. Um, a show where everybody got mashup themes. Saki and Mayu came out separately, so I thought that was a nice touch because Mayu still does not like Saki. Um, yeah, the match itself, I thought it was good, but I thought Saki and Mayu did a little bit too much. They were just doing too much, you know.
I think they weren't doing
Um,
enough of the wrestling.
yes,
Like, cause
yeah,
you know what I mean? Where it's like they were definitely doing a lot of, like, the funny stuff, but then when it, like, was time to, like, really, like, dive into it, it felt like they weren't really, like, as there for it as Kid and Izumi were. I was like a really good match. I saw, like, a lot of people really like this, a lot of people that, like, it was probably the best physical match of the night for me. Um,
yeah,
like I said, I liked the Hazuki Natsuko match more because 'cause I'm me. Um But I thought it was, like, really fun, but I definitely was like, "Oh, I wish there was a bit more, like, just Mai Izumi just going at it for a little bit, and just more, physical stuff." Because once it got into that higher gear, it pretty much was just Saki doing roll-ups or attempting roll-ups, and a lot of Izumi Kid offense. There wasn't much on the other side of things, but,
mm,
there was some, like, really good stuff in this. I think it was quite good.
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people enjoyed it more than me. I just would have liked a little bit more wrestling from Mayu and Saki, or even like gradually them fully getting back on track.
Yeah. I think that's
Um,
the one thing is that it felt kind of, like, unfinished where it's like, "Oh, they just aren't going to be
yeah.
cool."
So
Um
I mean there was good stuff there, and it was definitely all about the kind of spectacle, I guess, of seeing these people teaming up again, which is totally fair. But yeah, I could have been better to me,
It was also
but
very funny that Saki found herself in like submission holds twice in this spot monkey match. Like
yes,
how does how do you find yourself getting fucking just killed? Like that was just crazy. I will say there were a couple things that Saki did do that I thought were cool. She had this double arm suplex that looked very I guess young Mayumi Ozaki would be a good reference. It looked very JWP. With her bridge looking really good. It was just a really clean move. And then the Angel's wings, instead of like doing the usual one, she just threw her to the ground. I was like, damn, she's been watching some old Tomoko Watanabe tapes. Like that's crazy. She was killing it. There was some like really fun stuff in this, definitely. And yeah, but overall it was just kind of fun to see everybody together. Um,
yeah.
that's about it.
The post match stuff kind of was really the important thing. Kid and Azumi got to like stand together and be like, "Oh wow, it's really weird that we're like here teaming together, closing the show." And they did promise to one day have a big match against each other in the main event of a big arena. Kid was even like, "What? Like, how cool would it be for us to go from like opening shows against each other to main eventing a big arena?"
Yeah.
She did say that they want to go for the Tokyo Sports Best Match Award thing. So when they do wrestle in a
Oh
main
no.
event, it is going to be so extra. You are
Yeah.
going to hate
Especially from
everything.
Kid. Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
like they're going for it. So
Yeah. They're
yeah,
doing that
very
Suzu Julia match.
yeah. So some very interesting stuff there in the post match. But yeah, the main event was what it
One
was.
one really funny like body
And
language thing.
please, we have 4 matches,
I
4
know,
shows.
I know, but one thing it
Please.
was okay. Kid let Azumi wear her mask. Like Azumi wore her old Queen's Quest mask. They were or a new one, but whatever. They were wearing masks together. And then after the show or after the match, you could see Azumi be like, "So can I wear this now? Like, can I just wear this?" And Kid's like, "No." Like she's shaking her head, like like knocking it out of her hand. Like, "No, you can't wear masks again." And Azumi was like really upset about it. I thought that was really funny. That's it.
All right.
Good show.
Okay.
Fun show. We're we're done with the
Yes.
review.
I would like to dig into it more, but we do not have time. So, 4 shows to preview in the coming week. The first is on 16th of September. I won't even do the bit. This is in the Fukuoka Island City Forum. Have 3 GP matches. The first of which is in the Blue Stars block. It is Micah versus Azumi. So, what is the situation for
This
Micah?
show is in
She
Fukuoka. So two
yes.
of the matches are pretty cut and dry.
Yes. So Azumi is on 6, Micah's on 5.
Azumi only on 6, damn. I guess
Yeah.
everybody's on 6, so yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
true.
So
I guess is Micah gonna win? Does Micah
Mike
win?
is definitely winning.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, it's Fukuoka.
Oh, yeah, true. Next match is a Red Stars block match, Hazuki versus Natsupoi, and yeah, that's a Hazuki win. Cause Natsupoi's already on like 10. No, she's on 9. That eliminate
then-
Natsupoi? No, she's fine.
No, she could
She's
still.
still.
Wait. I can't count. Yeah, she can still win technically.
Okay, cool. Main
Ami
event.
Sori is probably gonna eliminate her, honestly.
Oh dear. The main event then is a Red Stars block match. It is Tam Nakano versus Ami Sore. So Tam is 3-2-1 coming into this. She has 3 matches left. So she's one of the few people who can catch Tora. So I suspect she
true.
wins this. I suspect she goes into the last day in contention.
Yeah. Yes, I think she's definitely losing to Shuri. So
Mhm.
I don't know if she even enters last day in contention.
Really?
I think Shuri eliminates her.
Hmm.
Because like if she wins this
See.
match and loses to Shuri, then Shuri's still in contention, but Tam isn't.
Right.
So who do you think is going to be in contention? Well, actually, this is a question for
Who
another
even
show.
knows? I have no idea anymore.
Tam over Ami, probably.
Yeah, that's what I have. So
I think
yeah,
that's safe.
that's kind of easy. The next show then is on 17th of September. This is in Saga. The Saga City Moritomi Cultural Gymnasium, Heartful. So we have I think it's just was
Ida versus
3
Hanako.
yeah,
Huge.
3 GP matches,
Oh,
a
and a
high-speed
5-way.
5-way.
Oh, that looks fun.
It does. Sai, Ida, and Hanako. And yeah, we have a Blue Stars block match anyway, kicking off the GP action. Rai versus Mariah May. In another world, I would have thought May wins to set up a white belt match, but
from the
I don't know.
start, I thought Mariah May was going to beat Mariah, but there's no way she can beat Mariah now.
No.
Like, I think that would probably look bad for everybody.
Yes. So yeah, I have Mariah going over there. The next match is a Blue Stars block match. It is Hanan versus Momo Watanabe. I think Momo wins because she's not losing to Hanan on the road to a white belt match.
I think Momo has also lost like her last 4. So
Yeah.
yeah, she kind of needs to get it back. At least
Okay.
1 or 2.
The next match is a Red Stars block match. It's Suzuki versus Ami Sore. That's an interesting one. Is Suzu
Suzu
still in
has to
contention?
win.
Okay, so
Yes.
Suzu's winning. Suzu's winning.
I feel bad for Ami because she's just not winning a match. Like I don't know. I mean, she
you
probably
know.
beats Natsupoi and maybe Shuri.
Yeah. So yeah. So Suzu is gonna enter that last day in contention, I feel like. So
I mean, it'll be a big question because Suzu and Hazuki have a match. That's gonna be the decider
okay.
between. And I've literally every single week I have been mentioning this match where it's like this is gonna be a big match. It's gonna be a very important match. It's gonna be a very like every week it's like, oh, this is gonna be even more important because like it's so weird this year.
The next match or the next show then is on the 18th of September. This is in Yamaguchi in the KDDI Ishin Hall. Is this Mayu's hometown? Oh, what was that? Oh, okay,
That's
never
great.
mind. Yeah. So of course Mayu doesn't have a GP match, but there is Mayu and Hazuki versus Utami and Asmi on this show.
Oh,
So
damn! That's gonna be
that's
a
very
fun
fun.
draw.
Yeah, there's also a Micah and Megan Bain versus Ida and Hanako tag. So
This also
some
sounds
fun stuff here for Yamaguchi. We then have a Blue Stars block match. We only have 2 block matches. The first is Mina Shirakawa versus Momo Watanabe. Mina? Is Mina?
If let me see where Mina's at. This is one of 3 matches Mina still has to go. Mina's
Okay.
at 6. She could only get to 10 if she loses this, and she would be eliminated. So yeah,
Right.
this is Mina's make or break here. Does she
I feel
break?
like most matches should will probably have one person like contention. Her versus Zano. like Ano is out, so Mina should probably be in.
But I don't know if Mina wins out because she has Micah still.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, like, I don't like. She can win against Momo, but I don't think she's in contention last day unless she's winning.
Maybe
Because
she
she's,
is.
I mean, she might, but if she isn't winning, she's losing to either Momo or Micah. Like, I don't think she beats both of them.
True.
And then Anna's a toss up again if she's winning or not. Yeah, I mean, I could see Amina win here, but I
Yeah.
also, yeah, I could see Amina win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really either way. Like at this stage, there's so much uncertainty. So yeah. The main event then is a Red Stars block match. Natsupoi versus Ami Sore. You have this as Ami. I think I back you up
Probably,
with Ami.
yeah.
Yeah. All
And
right.
that would be Natsupoi tournament.
Oh, crazy. Well, has to happen, I guess. The last show to preview then is on the 20th of September. This is in Osaka Edion Arena number 2. Oh, no graphics. We love no
Yep.
graphics. The Suzu, Ting, Mayu Hanan, Mina, Waka, Hanako. Yeah. All right. So we have a Blue Stars block match. We have 4 different GP matches on the show, and the first is Micah versus Mariah May. So we had Micah losing her last one, didn't we? To you have Micah over Azumi? Did.
Micah over Osmi,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is Mariah taking one off her here?
I don't
What's
know. I mean,
Micah's
uh,
what's Micah's
so
situation?
if Micah wins out, right? If Micah wins the next two, Azumi and Mariah May, she only goes up to 9.
Right.
But she has 2 left,
Okay.
and one's against Mina and one's against Mariah, right?
Okay.
So I think she probably wins the next 2. She wins against Mariah, wins against Azumi. Maybe loses to Mina. That's a possibility. Like I said, it's either Mina or Momo that I think Mina beats.
Hmm.
She might beat both. Who fucking knows? I don't fucking know anymore. But I predict it'll probably be uh, maybe it's Momo over Mina and then Mina over Micah, and then
All
Micah
right.
could possibly win. Yeah, I'm getting all sidetracked. I think Micah is beating Mariah May.
Okay. Really not giving Mariah too many points, are we? Um,
Yeah, she got her 6.
yeah, that's actually a fair point. She should probably get 8 as well. She'll probably beat Hanan. Uh, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like that's a Hana
Um,
win actually, but we'll
could
see.
be, could be. Depends. The next match anyway is a Blue Stars block match. It is Utami Hayashishita versus Mirai. Am I right there?
Hmm. You are right.
Oh, okay. Um, hmm, that's an interesting one. I think Utami would win because Mirai. We have Mirai winning her other one. So
That would push Utami to 10, with
yeah,
1 match to go, or
oh
2
yeah,
matches to go. 2
that's
matches to
yeah.
go. 2
She's
matches to go.
she's she's winning.
Um, I could also
Who's
see
the
Mariah
block
May
leader
winning here.
on? Who's the block leader on blue?
It's well, I think it's Utami Julia. I forget who.
Right.
I think
Is
they might
is
be like
there a
9 and 10.
chance? Is there a chance this goes to a draw so that Utami is on an odd number of points? So then they can do
Yes,
like, she goes up to 11 and wins the block over somebody with 10. That is what happens.
that's possible. Because yeah, Mariah that can go to a draw, and then she has Hanan, who she's definitely winning, and then Utami be on 11. Julia has Azumi, who she's losing to. Uh, Yeah, so it's possible that, and I'm looking at something. I apologize. It's probably terrible audio, but it's possible that we get into the final day. In the event that this is a draw between Utami and Mirai, it's possible that we get into the final day. Julia is on 9 and Utami is on 11, so Julia needs to beat Utami
Right.
to advance.
Okay.
And that also depends on Micah. Micah probably has to lose a couple, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, see, that sounds very probable for how Stardom does things. So
Yes.
I feel like that might be the move. Is Utami drawing with Mirai, and then Azumi over Julia in the next match.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
but that means that Micah's probably losing to one of the next 3, which is Azumi, Mina, and Mariah, I should say, because
I
that
would
had to keep.
have. I would probably put Mina over Micah. I mean, Mina's a
Mm,
faction leader. You have to remember. So
yes.
faction
Yeah,
leader over
Micah,
Micah.
and then where is Good old Mina Shirakawa. And then
Anyway, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I
So
am
so yeah, we're
confused.
all over the place, but the way I see it going is that it's probably Julia ends up on 9, Utami ends up on 11, and Julia is trying to beat Utami so that she can tie break in to the final. And whether
Okay.
or not that happens, yeah.
So yeah, the next match is Julia and Azumi in the blue block, and we have Azumi going over.
Yes,
And then we have a Red Stars block match. It's Tam Nakano versus Suri, and so this is a big one in the block.
very.
Essentially,
Um,
if one person wins, the other person is almost basically eliminated.
somebody wins here, then yeah, it's kind of very difficult for the other to win.
I feel like
Actually, no, not for Shuri, because
no?
Shuri still has Kid as well, technically.
Right.
Um,
So
yeah.
could Tam get the win here and both stay alive? Because that red block is definitely going to be more competitive than people seem to think. Tora might be on 12, but I suspect other people will be in and around that area.
If Tam wins against Shuri and against Ami, like we said, she would be up to 11. Yeah, she would still be in contention last day.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Who has she got
and
in the
then
last day?
she's got Natsupoi.
Oh, that's such an easy Natsupoi win. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is perfect actually. Yeah, so not Tam is winning here.
And then Shuri has Starlight Kid, and I think that, and then
Suri loses here and beats Ami. She'd be on 11.
yes, so she would be eliminated here, I believe, actually.
She also has Kid, as you say. So
Oh yeah, but I think Kid gets that.
probably should
So she
because
because yeah, Kid's not doing it. Like she's
no.
suffering.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I know people will be like, "Oh, Ami over Suri," but like not every action subordinate is going to beat their leader. So Suri probably beats Ami on the last day.
Yeah.
Which means Siri would be on like 11 to finish, which is pretty admirable
Yeah.
for anyone.
She wouldn't be in contention last day, but she would still finish strong. Which if she's beating
Yeah.
Ami, that's what's going to have to happen.
Yes.
Like if she beats Ami and she's in contention, that means she wins realistically.
Yeah.
So
Which, I mean,
yeah,
it could
possible.
happen. If it's Utami Suri, I could see that, but I don't really know anymore who's winning or
We're
what's
getting down to the
happening.
nitty gritty here.
Yeah. So I mean, the final is starting to take like it's starting to like take shape. That final day, we're starting to really see what might happen just based on how Stardom books. So I'm kind of starting to see the vision. Yeah, Tam winning here seems to set up a lot of very possible final sequences, which Natsupoi beating Tam, Suri beating Ami, all that kind of stuff. So
It's kind of wild how like I was like, oh, Micah's probably a top 3 chance of winning, and now I'm just like, I don't even know if she finishes top 3 of the
yeah,
block.
we all thought she was getting her own faction, so that
Yeah,
would have
exactly.
it. But you know what? It's fine. It's okay. I think that's it though. I feel like we're
Yeah,
finished.
I
So
believe so.
we'll
If you
be
guys
back.
if that was useful or interesting to you, you're welcome. If it
Yeah,
wasn't, I apologize. My brain works in mysterious ways when it comes to these sorts of things.
it's fair. So we're gonna be back next week to discuss all 4 of these shows.
Lovely.
We'll then be looking ahead to 2 GP shows, which will kind of just be the very
The
last.
penultimate shows, I believe.
Yeah. So there's only like 2 block matches on one of these shows, and then there's how many is there here? There's only 2, so there's only like 4 block matches that weekend.
These
So
are
a
like the
lot
leftovers,
of
yeah.
so a lot of stuff will be very clear by next week, but we'll obviously preview that stuff, and then week after it's getting ready for the final. So we're almost at the end goal. Although we will have to watch 3 shows by next Wednesday, which is not very fun. Although I assume
Yeah.
will not all be up. That Monday show will not be up. I could tell.
Probably not. In Yamaguchi, that might be hard.
Yeah. So have to wait and see what we can actually watch next Wednesday, but we'll be back to keep you up to date with all the wonderful stuff in the world of Stardom. And yeah, I don't know. It's time to close the show.
I believe so.
All right. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Joe.
Yo.